Meeting of April 9, 2022 at 7 p.m. Will you join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? And Sharon, will you lead us?
Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, reviewing the housekeeping items, which we do each meeting. Board, when speaking, please move close to your microphone to ensure we are heard clearly for YouTube streaming. And I request that the citizens who speak to adjust the height and stand close to the microphone. There will be 2 opportunities for citizen comments. I will be requesting individuals stay within the 4 minutes in both citizen comment sections. I would appreciate everyone keeping their points concise. I would request that comments are made respectfully to the board. We are here to discuss the township's business. Citizen comments should pertain to specific issues, concerns, or policies they would like to bring to the board's attention. To respect everyone's time, I strongly urge the board not to respond to public comments, but address them in the board comment section. Sometimes this is difficult, but this is not a debating stage between the citizens and board members. We have township business to conduct, and it is required that we do so effectively. If there needs to be a follow-up from the board, I will direct the appropriate person to reach out to that individual. The documents on the website are aligned to the items on the agenda. These are draft documents to provide background information only. Just to be clear, motions were drafted to help the board more quickly get to the final wording and vote on the respective motions. The final motion may look different to reflect the actual action taken by the board. And with that, the next order is we have 3 sets of minutes. We will start with the regular board meeting of March 15th, 2022. Any changes? Sharon?
I would, but I didn't know if Kathy would have one first before I said mine.
All right. Kathy, anything?
Not that I'm aware of, sure.
Okay, I would like to address correspondence, number 3. And that was Kathy. That's why I was asking her if she
Are
would
we
do
on
it.
March 15, right?
Yeah.
It says Central Lake residents. It should say Central Lake Public School District. It's not Central Lake residents because that would only encompass M88.
So Central Lake Public.
Well, Kathy's motion or Kathy's announcement.
You
So
may certainly correct it.
it's not Central Lake residents. It's a Central Lake Public School District election.
All right. Take out the residents.
Yeah, Central Lake Public School District will have an election. And the Shar-Am Intermediate District. If we use residents, the Central Lake District would be right across the street, and they're Kuwaitan residents. So we don't want to use the word residents because,
All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
okay,
Any other changes?
that's the only,
Just on this one.
yes, that's all I had on this one.
All right, Jason? I only had one. I was not sure under consent agenda, the 4th line, let's see, 2/4, and it starts, he has also accepted EMS administrator role. He accepted that a couple meetings ago.
That was just a public announcement of
Is that all
reminder.
that was?
Yeah,
All right, that's fine.
it should say, and instead of he has, he had. If that's the way we want to make it,
He had.
he
also.
had,
That's
yeah,
fine.
as a reminder, yeah.
If there's no other comments, then I will make the motion to accept the March 15th, 2022 regular board meeting minutes with changes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Jason. It is moved and seconded to approve the regular board meeting of March 15th, 2022 with changes. Any further discussion regarding the motion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes. We will move to the second set of minutes, which are the minutes of March 22nd, 2022, which represented the public meeting that we had. Are there any changes or comments to that? Sharon?
Yes. On number 3, the very end of that last full sentence, it should be assessed, where it says assessed value, it should be taxable value. The millage is based on a taxable value, not an assessed value.
Number 3.
$35 per $100,000 of taxable value, correct?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Anything else?
That's all I have in that one.
Kath? Jason?
Good.
All right, I had one under number 4, second page, discussion related to funding alternatives for operating of the Township Day Park and Boat Ramp. To repair the boat ramp, it will cost approximately $15,000. I think what I said there was the $50,000 was the, to do it, yeah. Now, it's conceivable without going back and listening to the minutes that there were 2 discussions. One was maybe potentially the immediate repair would be 15, but to really do the boat ramp the way it should be based on Bill's best estimate at this time, it was 50. So,
I don't
I
remember.
guess,
Well, the 2 sentences together, to repair the boat ramp, it will cost approximately $15,000. To do so appropriately would cost significantly more. Is
All
that
right.
maybe where you're 51?
that would be 50 then.
Add the word 50,
Yeah.
7 more,
Yes,
take out significantly more,
Yeah.
like 50,000.
would cost roughly 50,000.
Okay.
No other comments, then I will make a motion to approve the March 22nd, 2022 special board meeting minutes with changes. Is there a second?
I can second that.
Thank you, Kathy. It is moved and seconded to approve the special board meeting March 22nd, 2022 with changes. Any further discussion regarding the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We'll move to the next set of minutes. Are there any changes to the minutes to the special board meeting of March 30th, 2022? This was related to the budget amendments. Sharon?
I have none.
All right. Kath?
No, sir.
Jason? Alan? All right, I've got a couple. One is a typo. Discuss in the first line. I actually found a typo and not Sharon.
Where is it at?
Very first
First line.
sentence. Discuss.
Very first sentence. Wait.
It says, review and approve, I'm sorry, the primary purpose of this meeting is to do disco agenda items.
You know why? Because spell check does not catch spelling errors when you do all caps.
Well, that's.
So, and I
that's-
reread it,
That's not
so
my,
I-
that's not my.
I never read that section because I thought that was a section she leaves on there all the time and does, I read the content.
come on. you
Alva
two.
Cowell told me years ago that little paragraph needs to be on special board meeting minutes.
Well, I know, but I thought you just left it there and then you continued everything out.
It's,
You don't,
guys,
you don't
I-
it's
copy
only
paste.
one typo that you missed. That's all.
Yeah, but
The both of you missed it and the guy that.
I missed it.
And I don't do my English, right? So I mean, seriously. The other item, should we state that Jason was absent from that meeting or it doesn't matter?
It does say that.
Down at the bottom, I didn't know if we need to do it.
down at the
Oh, I was gonna
top.
say, it says in the third paragraph.
I didn't know if we needed to put that up front, what the appropriate style is for for that.
For the motions, are you saying?
Well, I'm just saying that when we call to order, we always state that there's no new business that you can do unless we have all the board members. And so I didn't know if we should have like public comment was none, and should we say not all board members present? It's just a question. If it's not a big deal, I'll move on real quickly. Not a big deal. All right. So, the motion has been moved and accepted.
No.
Oh, we haven't made that one yet. All right. So I'll make the motion to approve the March 30th, 2022 special board meeting minutes with changes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. It is moved and seconded to approve the special board meeting on March 30th, 2022 with changes. Any further discussion regarding the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right. Next item on the agenda is correspondence and announcements. Kathy, anything?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
I received an email from Elk Rapids Schools in regard to their groundbreaking ceremony that is coming up on Wednesday, April 27th. This has to do with their bond proposal that was passed and how it's going to be spent. Yes, so this is one of the things is they're calling it a performance gymnasium. So they will be breaking ground on that, and they are inviting the public to attend. And they do have a website for their bond issue, and it's Elk Rapids. It's erschoolsbond.com. So that's coming up April 27th. That's FOIA. I've, since the last board meeting, have received some communications from the public that all basically have to do with the Dollar General store. And it's against, oops, and then the fourth one was against the police officer. So I have those correspondence if anyone is interested in that. And then, well, that's it for this moment. I do have a new FOIA, which I'll address later on in the meeting.
All right. Thank you. Next item is the agenda. Any changes to the agenda? I have some, but I'll ask for the board if they have any before I get started. Nothing? All right. I've got a few that I'd like to propose to the board. If you'll remember, one of the guidelines that I have for our meetings is no additional board action can be added to the agenda. Unless the board objects, I need to propose some items that we can address tonight, or I will call a special board meeting for Friday, April 22nd, 2022 at 1 p.m. to address these issues. Does any board member have objections to that?
I do not, because I will not be present on Friday.
All right. Alan, any
No.
objection?
No, no
Jason?
objections.
No objection.
Kathy?
No, sir.
All right, well, thank you, board. You have the revised agenda in front of you. It states proposed agenda on the top. Let me draw your attention to page 2. On the agenda, there are 3 items. Unfortunately, as some of you know, my computer blew up on Saturday and I lost a lot of my work, one of which was to put item 1, which you would see when you went into the details of the package that was related to Julie for the Elk Rapids School. I would like to add to the information purpose only, section 1, which is Julie Brown, Superintendent, Elk Rapids Schools, and move the other 3 items down by 1, which would make Torch Lake Water Quality 2, update on Day Park Funding 3, and update Police Enforcement Officer number 4. Then what I would like to do is, in the interest of allowing our guests to make their presentations to the board and not have to sit through our whole meeting, I would like to move item 1, Julie Brown, in the section of informational purposes only, and make it number 4 under the special reports agenda following the financial overview. And then I would also like to move item number 2 from information only to the special reports number 5. In addition, we were informed by our attorney, not yesterday, it would have been Friday afternoon, I believe. We were informed that we needed to approve the road millage ballot language. We've already approved through resolution to increase the millage, but Todd said we needed to approve the language. So that, as you will see on your desk, a item new business number 6. It's also out in the back. It will have the valid language for the millage. Finally, that will be number 6. Number 7 is a new EMS hire. The reason for that is the recent person that we just approved, I believe it was a month ago, has resigned. Mike accepted the resignation, but he has asked that we hire a new applicant, Donovan Stone, which some of you know, who is also one of our volunteer firemen. So I would like to make this item number 7 under new business. If there are no other changes, I would like to make a motion that the agenda be accepted as presented with changes. Do I have a second?
I second it.
Any discussion? All right. It is moved and seconded that the agenda is accepted as presented with changes. Any further discussion regarding the motion? If none, all those in.
Can I, this is for the August election?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the agenda passes. We will move on to the consent agenda. I'm sorry. Citizen comment, did anybody fill out citizen comments? Come on, Jairus, you know the procedure.
Go ahead.
That's all right, come on up, Jairus. From now on, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to put you on the agenda to start.
You know, it's funny you say that because yesterday the Banks Township meeting and I got there and he's like, "You're number 5 on the agenda." The Antrim County Commissioners commissioned a study on lake levels on St. Clair and 6 Mile Lake. And I would like to read a short preliminary study, short results. So I'll just read this for a second. All these results are preliminary, but we expect that the following will be in the final report from the United States Army Corps of Engineers. The culverts and Bridge Street at Ellsworth are confirmed to be the principal determining factor of the lake levels on St. Clair Lake and 6 Mile Lake. The United States Army Corps of Engineers did a special analysis substituting a much larger type of culvert to show what the difference in lake levels would be. The dredge scenarios suggest that they are likely to affect flows and levels during normal weather, but they may not significantly reduce flooding during heavy storms. So I just mentioned that because Torch Lake has lakes around here too, and we're not sure if this can be extrapolated because you get 2 inches of rain, that may be 6 inches of rain on a lake, 6 inches of rise on a lake further downstream, just because one lake feeds into another lake, feeds into another lake. This study, we were supposed to have the results in November, and we finally are going to get preliminary results in May. And if you have anything that you think I should be asking, I'm not a lakefront owner, so I have gotten quite a few emails and correspondence from people who do own homes on lakes that are interested in what dredging could do to lower or raise water levels. And I'm just trying to plow my way through what I can understand of this so far. So,
All right, good.
That's the top of the tip of the watershed council area, right?
tip of the mitt,
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
So what feeds
So-
that way?
So are they thinking of replacing the culverts? Is that what this is bringing up?
That's the preliminary suggestion.
Okay.
Because last year when it flooded, it went over the road there. And anytime you have water going over a road, it's a traffic hazard, if nothing else.
Okay.
Secondly, we had a road commission meeting today, and it seems like we had a miscommunication between the road commission and Torch Lake Township. And I think we can get it resolved, and I think we can get your improvements done this year. But I was talking to Mr. Peterson, and we should get that on the list sooner rather than later at this point. I think what happened was it got submitted last year. November, the road commission kind of clears up all their projects that were submitted and puts them in the filing cabinet, and they didn't realize that this was a 5-year plan, and they never pulled it out in January and February when all the other townships were submitting their requests for proposals. So I don't think it was intentional, but I really want to make sure that you get your road work done this year.
Yeah, I've got a call on to Bert. I may see him the end of this week. And we chased down the email, and yeah, we saw it was, so it's not good to be too proactive, is it?
Well, they wanted us to be.
You got to be
proactive.
just right, not too early and not too
I
late.
was going to say, we wanted to get right up there, up front, right? We did our homework, and we blew up anyway.
Yeah, Dieter
No,
Amos,
that's
Dieter Amos on the board said, get it done now. So we jumped on it. So.
All right, thank you. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. Board, anybody wish to pull any of the reports? I think we have one change, and the board, you have that. It's in the back, the addendum for the clerk's
Clerk
report.
Mhm. It's on your table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So do we have any questions for the clerk on her report? All right, hearing none, then I would move that all the reports are accepted by consent.
Mhm.
All right, board, moving forward, we have our special reports. We will start with the planning commission. Jason?
The meeting was canceled, so I don't have much to say.
Well, that's unusual, but that's okay. We'll take it.
Can't you ad lib?
We may not want that.
I'll have a whole lot more.
Yeah, that's right. All right, for you, Kathy?
Yep, we were all caught up, and then I opened my email today and have received another FOIA request. This one's going to be rather complicated, so it's going to take a while to fulfill it, but that's the only active one that we have right now.
All right, thank you. We're still in the discovery stage for that. so.
Correct.
All right, so we'll do my financial review. As I've indicated in the past, any questions regarding the financials as to the major drivers of the final results, can contact either myself or the clerk's office. We'll be happy to go through them with you. We finished the year with a surplus of $218,380. We ended the year with a strong cash position across our funds of $2,735,000. Individually, the general fund is at $1,113,700. For the fire fund, $534,800. The ambulance fund, $658,900. And the road fund, $290,900. Anyone interested in seeing what the budget will be for next year can visit the website, watch the recording of the budget meeting on YouTube, or feel free to give me a call. At this time then, what I would like to do is to invite Julie Brown, who is the superintendent of the Elk Rapids Schools, and she has requested to give us an update on the construction program. So Julie, it's all yours.
Good evening. Thank you for having me and allowing me to talk. And first of all, thank you for serving the community. It's a tough job, and you guys stepping up to the plate certainly keeps things rolling. So we appreciate that. Jason, it's so good to see you off the field and doing like work. Just kidding. If you haven't seen the Elk Rapids High School varsity team and you want an evening of fun, that is a great program that Aaron has built, and those kids know how to play softball. I really enjoy it. So thanks for serving. Thanks for coaching. Thanks for being here. So our bond was passed, and we thank our communities for passing our bond. It was a $50 million bond for various upgrades and facilities. The first phase of the upgrade was the performance gym, which is what the groundbreaker was for. Thank you for sharing that so
Yep,
much. It
yep.
was very important. We got it out to all of our communities to let you know that it's not just about getting the money, it's about upgrading facilities for our kids and our community members. So we'll break ground on the 27th. We'll start with the gymnasium. We also have 2 other projects we'll be working on, moving central office to the high school and building a new front office that's safe and secure. Those jobs have all been bid and have been approved by the board and will get started. Our next project is the middle school. We have bids that we've taken in. OAK, our construction management team, is going through the bids to vet them. We do second round interviews and make sure that they can hold their bids and they didn't miss anything. We're hoping that will go to the board on the 25th. I'm not real optimistic today, so it may be May. And we'll start on the middle school in October of 2022. So we're rolling, and we're being very particular about what we promise the community, what we're giving the communities, and we're also very forward thinking about how we can open our facilities up for the communities. Our gym has a walking track upstairs, and we want to have the building open before and after school so community members can use it, especially in those winter months because we are so active, but sometimes don't have any place to go. And our middle school has 2 areas that are built for big presentations and large groups. The library and the makerspace, it's called, that we can open up, and we're certainly hoping that community members will use those facilities. And my philosophy and my expectation is for nonprofits and our community members that need a place to go, we will offer the facilities. We just need to be fiscally responsible and compensate for any custodial needs that we can't already cover. But certainly a community school, and being a graduate of Elk Rapids High School, I want our communities to be proud in using the space. So I think that was 3.5 minutes. So I'm good, right?
That was, you could have another minute if you want to.
Nope, I'm good.
Do you have
That's good
another
for me.
millage coming up or something?
So we have our non-homestead millage that will be coming for renewal pretty soon here, but I don't know when. We have a lot of construction to do before we ask for anything else, and bringing people in and showing what we gave you that we promised. So, no, I have nothing else to say.
All
I
right.
appreciate the time.
Would you repeat the
Yeah.
offices again?
Yep.
I missed part of it.
Yeah, we have 2 office construction pieces we're doing. We're moving the office up to the front by Peterman Auditorium, the main high school office. When Peterman Auditorium, that cafeteria were built, people now think that's our front entrance, so we just need to redo that. And the entrance we have is not secure. You go in one door, you're buzzed in, and you can go anywhere in the building. The new office space will give secure entrance right to the office, and you can't access kids until you get past us. The other thing we're doing, we're in the middle school, we're demolishing the east wing, my 5th grade wing, and we're going to rebuild central office there. But what we found is the middle school, we've had declining numbers, we have extra space. What we've decided to do is renovate 2 classrooms in the high school, save building square footage to put more money back in the bond for places for kids. So our new offices will be where the awning is for the current office. So we don't have to do new construction, we don't have to build a new entryway, and we can be accessible to people. So those are the 2 things that are starting also. The front office won't start till October because it's taking 40 weeks to get steel in. Isn't that incredible?
Lord.
But those are the 2 areas. Did that?
Because when I
Did I
do
go too fast?
taxes and I take things there, and when I need to, so I would go to different office then.
Not yet. The front office won't be moved until, I think, the spring or summer of 2023.
Okay,
So, and we'll communicate our new addresses and that.
okay.
Just like with the groundbreaking, we have to communicate so you guys aren't going, what in the world happened?
Or to mail our payments and so
Or,
forth.
yes, all that stuff. We'll make sure we get all that to you. So
Okay.
thank you for asking me. I'm going to put that on my notes too, so I don't forget.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, okay, do I go to the same place that I did before or somewhere different? Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah, we'll be there for a little bit. So, all right,
Great.
Sure.
all right.
This is anecdotal, but in my neighborhood, which is in the woods and on the lake, we have 4 new families where they work out of their house and they all have kids.
Can you
And
use
so
your
we have- they're all
microphone?
elementary kids. Do you see a rise in Elk Rapids population? Maybe that's been published. I don't, would Fifth Friday count higher this year?
Actually, it was not.
No.
We actually, so the question was, we are seeing people move into the community that are working from home and bringing families. But our numbers actually went down this year, and what we found is we had 44 students we lost, but 29 of them went to some kind of online or virtual program, and probably because of the masking and/or just COVID fears.
Okay.
So we have not seen that increase, but we have seen an increase of people moving in and working from home. And we do have some new families that way.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Very good. Thank
Anytime you have a
Julie.
question, give me a call.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
great.
Thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, item number 2. Dave, you ready? Come on, I mean, you got thrown under the bus by Tom.
Under the bus, I really don't have anything. We applied for some help with the township to be a fiduciary as we progress on our funding for the gold and brown algae in the lakes. We're getting a fund and we needed to find a fiduciary. I think I'm saying that kind of close. And we asked you folks for help and you declined. And from what I hear, it was a pretty good reason. But anyhow, we're all set with Antrim County.
Right, we've got a letter on the agenda that we'll be sending, so.
We're going to give them the check tomorrow night. I'll be over there at the Antrim County office in Bel Air. But
Excellent.
appreciate you listening to us.
The county treasurer, is that who's,
I'm really not sure Norm is handling that, but so I thought it was kind of pulled off the agenda.
No, Tom
I-
said you were going to come here and give us this
Well,
full-blown
I had
4-minute.
I could go on and on. I'm going to be back.
Okay,
I'm on the tip of the lakes on the septic subcommittee.
yeah,
And I'm going to be here, and I'm going to be at the planning commission. You'll probably get tired of me, but I'm on a
Never.
mission. I'm on a mission.
good. All right, thanks, Dave. All right, moving on. Give me a minute. All right, we have no old business. So we'll look at the first item. We've got 6 items in total. I'm sorry, 7 now. So item number 1, and to give you a little background, we had the clerk's office undertake a real quick look at all of our individuals that have positions in the township to check their expiration dates for their terms. We verified that those dates were accurate based on prior meeting minutes, and lo and behold, we found that 2 individuals did not appear to have been reappointed in December of 2020, even though the oath of the office had been administered on December 18th of 2020. We believe the item would have been covered at the November 2020 board meeting, but that meeting was canceled due to COVID concerns, if you'll remember back to those times. And so we believe the item got dropped through the cracks in the transition during the election. Therefore, we need to retroactively appoint the 2 individuals, which we have done for another board planning commission member before. So are there any comments associated with this issue? Hearing none, is there a motion to reappoint Vern Lalone to the Board of Review as a member and Don Lee as the alternate retroactively to December 18th of 2020 with the term ending on December 18th, 2022?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. The motion has been made and seconded to reappoint Vern Lalone of the Board of Review as a member and Don Lee as the alternate retroactively to December 18th, 2020 with the term ending on December 18th, 2022. Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. Kathy, would you please conduct a roll call vote?
I will. Mr. Cook, you're first.
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. That motion passes 5-0.
All right.
And
Thank you, Board.
it's Lays with an S.
Lays?
Yes.
All right. Well, you know me. I caught your misspelling, and I had my own spelling mistakes. We're even now. All right. We have an applicant for the day park that was reviewed today at the day park meeting, and the day park committee recommended the hiring of David Verzati as a Torch Lake Park attendant effective May 1st of 2022 at a rate of $16 per hour. Is there any discussion associated with this?
Wait,
You have 21 on here,
date's wrong.
What do I have?
May of 21.
2021.
Actually, mine doesn't even have a date. I
Wait.
show 20,
And you said
22.
2022, but
Yeah.
it doesn't read that way.
that's fine.
Okay.
I'll make that
2022.
motion to hire David. He goes by the name of Rod as
Ronnie.
Ron,
Ron or Ronnie? I
Ronnie,
forget. I
Ronnie.
think it's Ronnie.
Ronnie.
But anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so the motion has been made.
You
We've
just-
got a second, right?
No,
All right,
I'll second it.
thanks, Alan. Motion has been moved and seconded to approve the hiring of David Verzati as a Torch Lake Park attendant effective May 1st, 2022, at a rate of $16 per hour. Do I need a roll call on that, or can we just do a voice vote?
I believe you can just do a voice.
All right,
Yeah.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
He's not going back to park. We've taken him from Antrim County Park.
All right, item number 3.
May I? Since Rita's here, have we hired do you have any other potential hirees for the park this year? Shane, so you're going to have 2? Right, they're all going to just be doing the ramp, correct? Okay.
All right, so I've included a letter that I've drafted that is responding to the request from Tom related to their request for us to do the fiduciary, for which Sharon and I discussed, and we decided that it would not be appropriate. We're not set up to really handle that type of activity. And we're requested to write a letter to the Antrim County Board of Commissioners, and fortunately, Sharon caught a couple of my spelling mistakes on the letter. But if you've had a chance to review it, I'm open for comments and editorializing it, if anybody has any changes they would like to make. All right, hearing none, then if I can have a motion to approve the letter as submitted and have the supervisor, with changes for the typos, and have the supervisor forward to the Antrim County Board of Commissioners indicating our support for the efforts of the Torch Lake Protection Alliance to conduct this study with the United States Geological Survey Organization. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. The motion is to approve the letter as submitted with changes and have the supervisor forward to the Antrim County Board of Commissioners indicating our support for the efforts of the Torch Lake Protection Alliance to conduct this study with the United States Geological Survey Organization. Any discussion on the motion? Hang on.
You'll be prepared.
If there is nothing, then Kathy, would you have a roll call vote on this, please?
I will. Bob, you're first.
Yes.
Alan,
Yes,
Jason,
Yes.
excuse me. Sharon,
Yes.
and myself, yes. That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you. Jared, we'll take your comment at board comment if we could, or at citizen comment. Thank you.
Cook
I made
Schultz.
the motion. Yeah. All right, item number 4. Kathy, you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, hang on, I just shuffled in my agenda here. Every year from MTA, we receive this letter asking us to approve the principles of governance. We've done it before. And I'm asking for the support of the board again. It's a pledge as to conduct by the board, job responsibilities of the board, those kinds of things. Like I said, we've seen this before and we've approved it every year, so it's time to do it again.
Any comments regarding this? Guess I only had a couple. I mean, I'm not quite sure why they say strive for compliance when you got to be in compliance with state and federal statutory. You would have thought they'd have made it a much firmer statement. And a lot of this stuff seems like it's somewhat fluff, but I would
It
not,
is.
I'm going to make a motion to approve the adoption of this, but I'm not going to do it as part of a resolution or anything. So my motion will be to approve the adoption of MTA's principles of governance as a best practice for the board of Torch Lake Township to follow.
I'll second.
All right, thank you. The motion has been moved and seconded to approve the adoption of MTA's principles of governance as a best practice for the board of Torch Lake Township to follow. Is there any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Kathy, would you conduct the roll call vote, please?
I will, and I'm just going to say that I have a clean copy of this that I will pass around for everybody to sign, but it won't be this meeting because I don't know where the clean copy is, but, so, Bob,
Yes.
Alan,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
and myself, yes. So that's approved, 5-0.
Thank you, board.
And thank you.
Moving on to number 5. At the Day Park meeting today, there was a discussion around the contracting out the daily cleaning of the Day Park restrooms and the garbage removal. Nico Stone, who sent a proposal through Bill Peterson for our consideration. You were given an outline of the agreement. Do I have any discussions or comments associated with that?
There was a time, and I've been racking my head. If we contract with somebody to do a job for us, they must supply the equipment and all of the supplies. Example is the Larry Wooden and the cottage, Jeannie's cottages. And they have everything. He supplies everything, and even including his own equipment, which he keeps in the closet, one closet. And we couldn't, if not, they become an employee. This is an IRS rule. Now, I don't know if that's changed because I'm thinking 20 years plus when this thing came up for review here. Now, I don't know where there's a cutoff because we would be supplying is toilet paper and soap and things like that, but I don't know if it makes a difference. I think we should check on that. I mean, I would assume maybe this company knows what they're doing, but we did have to go through that.
Okay. I've noted.
Where
that
are they
down.
from?
Bill, you want to?
Right in our backyard, Sharon.
Yeah.
Jason,
She just lives right by Burns Park. And she cleans for quite a few of my clients on the lake, does a really nice job. Bill's known her for a lot longer than me.
Okay, so it's somebody local then.
Yep.
I had no idea. It doesn't say an address. It gives,
That's because at this point, we don't have a formal contract.
okay.
And so what I
So it
wanted
was
to
nice
do
to
is-
know where they're from.
Yeah. I
She's
wanted
my
to-
neighbor. She's just a couple doors down from me.
So I just wanted to get this out because it was the only thing we really have going right now. And we do need to create a contract and with more formal language. Basically, what I wanted to do is lay out the cost. The cost is going to be roughly $20,000. That includes 2 times on weekends and holidays and 2 times for the time period, 2 times per day for the time period of July and August. So there's significant costs associated with this, but we have improved services from the contractor we had last year. Eco will handle the removal of the garbage from the garbage cans. And so we will have that removed each evening, and they'll be ready in the morning when they do the bathrooms and empty whatever garbage may come in after.
Could you
after
talk
their
a little
time.
closer? I'm having a hard time
Sorry.
hearing.
So we have to figure out the fine print of the contract, but what I'm going to ask the board, since this is our only person, I'm going to ask the board that they allow the day park committee to pursue a contract not to exceed $20,000 with this individual. And that way then we can get that contract done. Otherwise, we would essentially have to wait till our May board meeting, which will be a few days after when this contract would initially start. We have them starting May 14th. So that's what I'm going to ask for, but I'm open for comments.
How do we
So,
advertise this?
We had Jenny go around and basically called Milton Township and Elk Rapids, and their TBW handles all their bathroom cleanings at their facilities. And we did not reach out to our prior client because they did not want to remove the garbage from the floor. And last year, we had a couple of hiccups with them. So Bill took the initiative on the part of the day park committee. He thought he had somebody that would be pretty good for the services and reached out to them and had a number of discussions and brought it to the day park committee today.
Well, again, I think we should make sure we're okay,
Yep, no,
IRS wise.
yep. Well, not only that, but we've got to make sure liabilities, and we understand that it could be under our umbrella, but I want to double check that.
and so the contracts would read something to the contrary as to this building's cleaning. There's language in there if either or decide to stop or
Yep.
whatever, all that sort of
It's going to
stuff's
be
in
your
there.
standard
Okay,
contract with an outside supplier.
okay.
It's just that what I'm asking the board is to approve the dollars, because I don't, I want a maximum dollars. If we can do better, great, but we have to be prepared to open up the day park in just about a month.
So the day park committee will be managing the soap and toilet paper, garbage bags and all that sort of stuff then too? Or will that come
We will
in
work
bulk?
through that.
It'll come in bulk that we used to buy through supply companies?
Sharon, I would
Yeah.
say that,
That would be the park committee doing
Right.
that. Okay. So it's nothing through
are
the,
you volunteering for it?
no, but I used to
Oh,
do
okay.
it. That's why I'm asking.
The day park committee knows we've got some responsibilities.
I didn't know if it came to the clerk's office or there. I just want to
No.
be specific.
Nope, that's fine. It's the day park that's running this.
Good.
All right. All right, well then, I will make a motion. Everybody had it ahead of time. I will make the motion that we pursue a formal contract agreement with Nichols Stone for amount up to $20,000 for the period of May 13th, 2022 through September 11th of 2022. Do I have a second? Thanks, Jason. The motion has been made and seconded for the Day Park Committee to pursue a formal contract agreement with Nichols Stone for an amount up to $20,000 for the period of May 13th, 2022 through September 11th, 2022. The laughter up here is because I have mispronounced this poor lady's name about 10 times.
Yeah,
Anico,
and
Huh?
Anico.
Anico. All
I
right.
see it now. I thought that was the name of a company, but now I see the last name, so I
I thought it
know
was a
who it
Nico.
is.
All right, so any discussion on the motion?
Well, again, I don't know how, in approving this, we're basically saying that if we find out that we would not be able, unless she would have to supply this material, without becoming an employee of the township. I don't know what you're really saying here.
Well, the saying is we wouldn't have a contract with her and we'd have to find another source to clean our bathrooms.
Okay, so the notion of pursuing a contract means getting those things settled. Yeah, okay.
Yes,
So, Alan,
That's all
That's good.
part of the contract.
That's
Ellen,
fine.
say again what you're about having to become an employee, if what?
If you don't, if you contract with Alan Martell to clean this building, and I come in and use all your equipment, and you supply the toilet paper and the soap and the hand paper and things like that, I am an employee, I am not a private contractor. That's an IRS rule.
That's
It
correct.
seems to me that we also had part of that same notion when we had to make our assessor an employee. There was something there too in that whole regard, that they had to be an employee with a certain amount of wages, that because of the fact that they use our equipment. And here, so that was only part of the assessor's consideration. That was, but I'm sure it was in there. But I don't know where the cutoff.
That's
is.
what
Maybe the IRS doesn't care about toilet paper, so we might be okay.
That's what Larry Wooden does here. He supplies all the toilet paper, paper
Everything.
towel. He does everything. He brings his own vacuums. He does everything as a contracted person. So
So
it's the same
we'll-
essence.
Guys, we'll look into it.
Better
and-
bump it up a little.
Well, no, seriously, because they would not have factored that into their cost. So,
This person may not even know that if they're doing homes and things like
well,
that.
yeah. So what would you think the incremental cost of that might be? Should I throw 3,000-4,000 extra on that?
I have no idea what we spent in toilet paper. There was a mad rush on it last year, but I don't see it now. But we put hand dryers in there, so we didn't have to use paper anymore for paper toweling. That saved money there. I mean, I would assume they have their own cleaning supply, cleaners and stuff, having a company.
think-
We don't supply any of that.
Right. So let me amend
You think then that they would not take it unless you pumped it up to 24 if they're
Well,
required?
if they've given their estimate based on a certain limited amount of variable cost, I would assume they would want to come back and make sure that they were covered on those incremental costs.
Ballpark, what did we pay last year?
16? Yeah. Yep.
I would think 20 is enough. Should cover.
Well, based on their rate, what I gave you was an exact calculation by days. And then there was an extra 4,900 on top of that, which, because the original letter that we received from her indicated that it was only a single day cleaning in July and August, even though in fact Bill indicated she understood differently. So when you add those extra days, there's an extra 49. That's why I got it to 20. My gut is that if we're asking them to cover these other costs, then we're probably looking at $2,000 or $3,000, just as a guess. And I can always come back for an amendment of the contract.
On bad weather days, do they, there's typically a lot of not any activity down there, so there wouldn't be a lot of
Yeah.
cleaning time. So I don't know, how
Bill,
does that
you-
work with that?
In your discussion with her, was there anything related to bad weather days?
No, the only thing that she was requesting in the township purchase was toilet paper, the hand soap, and the trash bag. All the cleaning supplies, all the equipment, all that stuff, she would be free.
And I would think those particular things would be items we would be required to have anyway. So that would be, if we look at clear definitions of cleaning, trash bags, hand soap, what was the third one? Toilet paper. Yeah, that's really not related to cleaning the bathrooms. So let me look into that and get back to it. But again, should we bump it or should we leave it the same?
When is your next
Day part
meeting? Yes.
What's our next meeting?
May 9th.
May 9th.
She's the one that came up with the 20,000?
No, she came up with the rate of
So then you
$100
multiplied
per
it out.
cleaning. And so I went through the calendar to make sure I accounted for that stuff. And because as I said, based on what she wrote, I only counted one time per day for July and August. But I went back and calculated, all right, how many days would that be? And that got us the extra 4,900.
So this would be approximately for 120 days of cleaning, thinking mid-May to mid-September?
Yeah, I mean, mid-May, I think starts on the 14th. That's Saturday. And it runs to the Sunday after Memorial Day, Labor Day weekend. And we have 2 holidays that fall on Monday. So we picked up some of those days, but
It just, again, it's, if it were for a full year, imagine this would be $60,000 to clean up 2 bathrooms in a facility. It's a lot, but maybe that's the way it is.
well, Alan, we've known we had this. I mean, they're not coming out of the woodwork to do work.
That's
So,
No, I
I
understand.
mean, at this point, we're at a point, we've got to get the day park ready to open.
So the 4th of July falls on a Monday this year then.
And so does Labor Day.
Oh, Labor.
It always
Oh,
does.
Labor Day does too. Okay.
Well, that's true, but I'm just saying, when we were going through counting the days, both of those holidays, instead of being a Monday, which would have been one time for her estimate,
Oh.
it doubled up because they were holidays. $200, I know, it's nothing, it's just going through and doing all the math. All right, well, the motion's on the floor. Would you like me to reread the motion? It's been
No.
moved and seconded. If not, then Kathy, would you conduct the roll call?
I will. Bob, you're first.
Yes.
Alan,
Yes,
Jason,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
myself, yes. Motion passes 5-0.
Thank you, board. We're moving on to item number 6, which is the road millage. You have the language. I asked the clerk to ensure that, and you were all copied on this, that we had the appropriate language for both the M88 referendum and the road millage, and that she would submit them promptly to the Antrim County Clerk's office. Our attorney came back and advised us that the road millage language needed to be approved by the board. So is there any discussion related to the language that Todd prepared for us?
Looks exactly correct to me.
Okay. Then I will make the motion unless somebody wants to do it for me.
I'll make the motion.
All right. So the motion to approve the ballot language for the August 2022 road millage of 1 mil and directing the clerk to deliver the ballot language along with the referendum ballot language to the Antrim County Clerk's office no later than 4 p.m. Wednesday, April 20th, 2022.
That'd be tomorrow.
That'd be
That'd
tomorrow.
Tomorrow, exactly.
No problem.
And that should make a number of other people very happy. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Motion has been made and seconded to approve the ballot language for the August 2022 road millage of 1 mil and directing the clerk to deliver the ballot language along with the referendum ballot language to the Antrim County Clerk's office no later than 4 p.m. Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Kathy, would you conduct the roll call? Oh, I'm
Yep.
sorry.
one question. I'm trying to remember when we had the county do maintenance on a road after it was constructed.
What are you talking about?
Well, it says here for road construction and maintenance. They built our roads. Bill, do you know of anything like that? Where the county came in and we paid them to do some maintenance on the road that was already built?
That's all part of this.
That's just part of the.
It's part of the,
ballot.
it's part of the road.
So if they do it, it's part of it. What difference does it make?
This is the same ballot language we've had for since we've had a road millage.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just questioning, But this does give us a little more flexibility, actually, if we did need some maintenance.
It's not for building a brand new roads, it's for maintaining them and, yeah.
Well, because we
Construct
don't
and
say, we
maintain.
say road construction, we don't say repair. And I kind of think of maintenance as repair or something
is.
like that. Okay, if you feel comfortable with it.
Mhm.
Good. Kathy, a roll call vote, please.
Yeah, did you do a sheet for that? If not, it's no big
I
deal.
did.
Okay, so let's see, Mr. Cook,
Yes.
Schultz,
Yes, yes.
Martell,
Yes,
Merchant.
Yes.
Windy, 8, yes. That motion passes 5-0.
Delivered to county, what, tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. I'm writing it down
4,
here.
4 PM. I think that covers 2 items that are for the August ballot. Last item, board. You have item 7 on your desk. As I mentioned earlier, our recent EMS hired individual submitted his resignation. Mike has a replacement, that's Donovan Stone. He's currently one of our volunteer firemen. He will be starting as a part-time EMS basic at $14 per hour, which is the revised rate that we passed, effective April 1. He will go full-time in October. He has a 75-day commitment to the National Guard, so he will be serving only part-time for the time being until that matter. Any
No,
Any
I'm,
questions?
nope, I'm excited. He's done a
All right.
great job, so I would like to make the motion to, he's already an employee, but add a new title behind his name as EMT.
All right, so you want to make the motion based on what I wrote, so that,
Oh, we can make the motion here, I guess.
well,
you
it's just
gotta-
easier, they've got it written down. That's why I do these things. So motion to approve the hiring of Donovan Stone on a part-time basis as an EMS basic at the rate of $14 per hour with a start date of April 20th, 2022. I will second
That's
that.
I would like to
That's right.
make one change there, if you don't mind, as an
Mind.
EMT, not an EMS basic.
All right.
EMT, he is an EMT basic,
All
not
right,
an EMS.
that works. I made the second to your motion.
Oh,
Any-
okay.
Any questions? If not, then Kathy, would you conduct the roll call vote, please?
I will. Bob,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Alan,
yes.
Sharon,
Yes.
myself, yes. That motion passes 5-0. Welcome back, Donovan.
All right, board. We have no items for board discussion. For information only, we had 4 items. We moved 2 up earlier. So the first one is the day park funding. As an update on that, and I've been working with Tom Stillings. We reached out to our representative in Lansing to see if there were any funds available for the township to use towards the day park expenses. I have not received a response back from that letter to Ken Borton. I know that monies from the state come with strings attached. So whatever offer comes from Lansing, the board will discuss and decide whether or not we accept it. I also have going to call a person that is at the DNR that offered to provide funding for our boat ramp. And so I'm going to call that person to find out if that is still available and what the requirements would be. My concern would be that if they put in the boat ramp, it might take a lot bigger boats, but they would be building the thing. And the question would be, would they also be willing to keep it repaired? So there are a lot of questions, but the idea is we've got a ball down there in Lansing and let's see how it bounces back. As to the police officer, I have a call in to Brian down there at East or Elk Rapids Village, he has not gotten back to me. I'm assuming he's still working the phones on that, so there's really no update on that at this time. Citizen comment. Anyone wish to make a citizen comment should fill out a form. Hey, I can't show favoritism here. Somebody will write me up for favoritism. Hey, Jason, I think I'm doing better than the day park. What do you think?
Yeah.
But we won't tell Rita that.
I was about ready to tell her to write faster. She was pushing us today.
Yeah.
Time for your service. Ellen, I just wanted to kind of address your comment. I'm not sure when the last time you've read the IRS regulations versus an employee versus a contractor.
I haven't read them.
Okay, because it has nothing to do with supplies. The IRS definition of a contractor is you give them a job, they come in and do it. An employee, you direct their work. So there is nothing in the IRS regs about that.
I would check with someone on that. I mean, I understand, but it had to do with them using our equipment. I know that for sure. Now, maybe that's changed.
It probably has, because the latest IRS regulations, they don't talk about that. All they say is, if you direct a person, you give them directions,
Okay.
then they're an employee. Because I've been working a lot with the orchestra on what's a contractor and what's an employee. A contractor is, here's your contract, you don't tell them what to do, you go in, you do your job, it's done. That's a contractor. So if you want, you can go out to the IRS website and look at that as well.
Thanks, Rita.
Oh, one other thing. So also the reason why the price went up is because the attendants are not picking up trash this year. If you remember correctly, this is what the board approved, because board also approved a fence going down, so the kids aren't going to get run over by a boat. So the attendants are only going to be looking at the ramp, so the attendants will not be going around picking up the trash like they were last year. So that's part of the cost, because we wanted these guys to go in so the park didn't look like a pigsty. So they would be in there, especially in July and August, they're going in there emptying out the trash throughout the park. So that's brand new this year versus last year, just to let you know, that's also why the price has gone up.
Thanks, Rita. Cheers. Now
Yeah, I just have a question on the letter that you have for the county commissioners. I'm just trying to be a little proactive. So if a commissioner asks me the question, why won't Torch Lake serve as a fiduciary, what do I say?
it's very easy. We only have Sharon in our office for finance work, and the requirements of the special accounting associated with that and bookkeeping and bank accounts, we don't have time to do it.
So it's pretty extensive.
It is for our treasurer who does all
Well,
the taxes and everything, so.
yeah. I don't know, so I'm just trying
Yep,
to be prepared to answer the question
Yeah.
because I could see it coming down.
A lot of
That's
bank
fine.
accounts, a lot of extra work, a lot of accountability. Yeah.
Here, the other thing, as a fiduciary, I believe the problem would be that if our friends at the Three Lakes Association ran out of money, because this looks like a multi-year contract potentially, and we're the fiduciary, I think we're on the hook for it. And we don't have the resources for that. So it's, I don't have a definitive on that, but, if we're responsible for receiving and paying the bills, if there's no money to pay it, I would be concerned that it was going to come out of Torch Lake. Well, yeah, I understand that, but you've got quite a contract there that you're looking at long-term, multiple years. And once we get into that thing, then your funding could go away and we could be stuck. So yeah, we're just not going to handle that.
Right.
And the county treasurer has handled that in multiple levels of different types of the fire departments. They had a special thing going on. She handled a lot of different things. That was much more of a bigger project.
The contract that we have says that the three association will be providing funds in advance of any invoice. So I don't know if that speaks to what you're mentioning, or you don't think that that's,
It's not
Because-
relevant
because-
to- It's not relevant to the work that has to be done. The funding is fine, it's what we have.
you're
to
talking
do
about the
to
man
maintain it.
hours.
Right.
Okay.
And
Sharon is stretched as far as she can be stretched.
she has made that known.
Thank you.
All right.
While you're up there, can I ask you a question? I was going to ask you, when you sat down really quickly during your first comment, Equalization made the report to you, and it was in the newspaper, and it was quite, Antrim County has a lot of new building going on, and it did mention that Torch Lake Township was #1 in the county of new highest taxable values in the county too. So I thought maybe you'd bring that up.
Yeah, there's the equalization reports that we get, they list top one by different classes. And Banks Township is top one for agriculture. Torch Lake was top one for, remind me again,
New taxable value,
new taxable value.
SEV.
Milton Township is top one for total taxable value. So there's 15 townships, and I didn't
Okay.
write them all out.
That's fine, Jared.
But those reports are all online, and if you'd like to see them, they're available on the website.
Oh, I looked at it.
Yep.
All right, that takes care of citizen comment. Board comment? Alan, we can start with you today.
I have a note that there's a mistake. Planning Commission next month is Tuesday, May the 10th, at which time they're having 2 hearings. The following Wednesday, the 11th, they're having another hearing with a special Planning Commission meeting. On the notice that was posted, it says Tuesday, May the 11th. It really should say Wednesday, May the 11th. I cleared that with Jackie Peterson today. So there are 2 Planning Commission meetings apparently in May, the Tuesday, the 10th, and Wednesday, the 11th. I think they both would begin at 7 o'clock, but Jackie was going to change that notice today. So I would check the website and see if it has been. I have no other comment.
I got that after my computer blew up.
Oh,
All right, Jason?
Alan took mine, darn it. I was gonna mention that we had a special meeting coming up on the 11th as well.
We'll bring a lot of water.
It's gonna be a long night, that's for
Going
sure.
To me first. I handed out to you, board, a couple pieces of paper. Our new policy handbook that we have approved, but not yet received a copy of. Chapter 4 is about all the financial things. And in our new policy handbook, we have stated that we are going to begin the use of purchase orders. So I made a purchase of a purchase order form, and I wish Ted were here. Ted made the comment that, well, he thought we were trying to go paperless, so why are we now throwing in a new form? So he's going to work on a digital format for purchase orders. These are already made out with Torch Lake Township's logo on it. So my thought was, if we need a paper form, we'll use a paper form. And if we can use digital, we'll use digital. And I'll just continue to use the numbers as they are printed on these.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, so I gave you a copy of chapter 4, 4 pages that basically refer to purchase orders and how that's all going to come down. So that's what you're looking at. We're still waiting on Mr. Revore to finish the index, is it?
Well, it's indexing and
Page
pages, the
numbering.
page numbering to make sure that it
Right.
flows.
And apparently he's been in court a lot and hasn't had the time to work on it. So we have that out there. You've all seen all the chapters of all the policies. So it's not news to you, but, yeah, so department heads like fire chiefs and EMS directors, we, are going to have to start using purchase orders to make purchases for your departments.
Well, the chair people of ZBA and planning.
Yes,
Commission
them as well.
As
Yep.
the rest of us here.
Yep. So you had given a directive to send out an email to all of these people involved,
Yep.
and I will do that.
All right. Sure.
Can I ask you, is there a limit, like, when they go up to Eastport Market and the fire department gets a piece of water or something, is that the same?
No, if you'll remember, Ellen, during when we had we went through this, we said there were certain expenses for emergencies that are normally done out of petty cash. So they're not going to run up there and run a $1,500 bill.
You do it, I would think that, but there's always minor stuff. You had, you bought food, for example, for the board of review.
Yeah.
Look at that today.
If you look on page 6 of this, it gives some examples where you won't need to use a purchase order. So for utilities, postage, payroll, petty cash purchases, travel, insurance dues, blah, blah. And I think, is 1,500 our limit, or are we saying it for everything?
No, I'd have to go back and
Yeah.
look again, but I'm just saying, I threw out $1,500 only because anybody running up there is not going to buy a big purchase.
No,
No.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so
So what am I asking, where's the cutoff?
Right.
I have to go back and look at it. I think what we were trying to do is say, hey, if you've got to run an emergency, that's one thing. For instance, if we had to do a major thing, that's a $15,000 amount that the clerk and myself can approve so that they can get that done. But petty cash stuff, we didn't put a dollar amount.
Yeah. I would be happy if we had a number also, so
Well, we can always,
Yep.
we can always modify it as we go along and see what it
see
looks
how
like.
it works.
Sharon?
I don't have any board information, but I would like to throw out a little other information, if I may. Petoskey Stone Festival, I'm on that committee. I have been for years, and it's the Petoskey Stone Festival is the 28th of May, and we are desperately in need of volunteers. There's, even if you could put an hour or two of volunteer time in, the workload is small, and so even though there's not a big group here, maybe all those people on YouTube can hear me and say, yes, I'd be happy to help volunteer for an hour or two at the Petoskey Stone Festival. So.
Can you give some examples of
Oh,
kinds of
they're
jobs?
petty things. They're like helping somebody direct them down to the beach for certain events, the stone skipping contest or the stone hunts, or going around selling the buttons that we have there, or just helping direct people. They're very simple little tasks. We have an informational booth at the front where we sell T-shirts. There's just a multitude of small little things that we need an extra hand to help. An hour or two would be great. I'm on the committee to recruit more volunteers, and I've already talked to Jairus because there's an election coming up here too, and there's a lot of people running for elections. So it's a good time to campaign also. So
What day is that, Sharon?
it's the 28th of May, Memorial Weekend. So if you have children or anybody that can just help,
I got a national honor student that needs some volunteer time.
well, I would love to have them. It doesn't have to be all day, but it's the small group that we have put a lot of time in, and we don't have a lot of time to, handle everything. So last year we had the Central Lake Lioness men's group come out and help us. They came in different groups, but they're not able to come this time. So we're still scrambling to get people to help volunteer. It's our, what year is it? I forget the year.
2022.
No, how many years we've had it. So it's been around for a while, and it's a good promotion for Antrim County, and it's a good promotion for Torch Lake Township too. So
It's a laugh a minute, isn't it, around here?
It's better than
So
this,
that's my only
better than-
comments.
better than a food fight.
Oh, yeah, well, we have food vendors. Now, our fire department does volunteer out there. They, we have the Coast Guards come and the firemen, I think, are going to help with their mandatory to have a rescue boat around, and Ted's already been informed, and they also help fill up the water tank for the fish pond. So our fire department here locally volunteers their time too, so I'm proud of them also, so.
We should probably raise that with Bert to say for that particular day, the problem we had last year when you ran that exercise and there were 20 cars, 15 cars down there and you couldn't get out.
That is the day we use that down there for the rescue boat, so.
So maybe that's a day that we could restrict the parking or something.
At the nature
I can
preserve.
talk to Bert.
There's no other way to
We-
launch that
We'll see
rescue
Bert
boat.
Friday.
That's where they do it.
Mhm, mhm.
All right. Board, I just thank you for another good meeting. We went through it. We beat the day part in the time that they took. So with that, I will make the motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I second it,
Motion's
8:20.
been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
All right, I got to